Okay, folks, can people hear me now?
Hmm.
Okay, folks, can people hear me now? Yeah, alright. So, hello everybody. My name is Neil. I am the creator, designer of Fayard and the narrator for this evening's game. I just realised that my captions are being slightly cropped. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's better, so people can actually read our captions. Okay, so sorry about that. So hello everybody, my name is Neil and welcome to Fayard, our indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century France where all of the creatures from fairy tale and folklore are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. It is 1872, it is the middle of February, and we are in the Auvergne region of central France. A France which is recovering, having lost a war approximately 6 months ago. In an attempted alliance with Prussia, they attacked the Fey nation of Arcadia, which is nestled kind of between France and the German federations. It was a long and bloody war. It looked like it was doing okay for a while. Maybe people were shocked because for the first time ever, Fey armies were taking casualties thanks to the modern rifling technology and artillery of the human armies. But then the Fey started changing their tactics, and on the 9th of May 1871, in a devastating attack on French and Prussian forces using no one knows, some say it was ancient magics and some maintain that they saw dragons on the field that day, despite the fact that no one has seen a dragon in Europe in about 5 centuries. But the human forces were wiped out in a devastating attack. Thankfully, the Fae did not demand much by way of recompense. They weren't really all that interested. There was the French and the Prussians had to pay them a small bit of money, but they didn't make too many demands. Our party of players are in the Auvergne region. They've kind of all ended up there. Some looking for family members that were lost during the war. Some looking for bits of themselves that they lost when fighting in the war. A lot's been happening. And right now, I'm going to ask one of our players to give us a recap of our last adventure.
Sure, go on. So in our last session, Aminata returned from her very mysterious business, and the party set out for the forest again, and they met Gwynn leaving the forest early that morning. So the group was very much reunited. On Gwynn's way out of the forest, she met Juliet, who could smell Marianne on her from the night before and was very upset. So we'll see how that ends up. Otherwise, the group had a relatively uneventful day. We did have a visit from our raven friend, who is the messenger of the Lady of the Forest, and he bestowed upon us an invitation to dinner with the lady for the evening time. So we all hurried back, had a really wholesome heart-to-heart with some of the characters while we were getting ready to go to dinner. And when it was time, we went downstairs, and a unicorn carriage, a carriage led by unicorns, appeared at the door to ferry us to the lady. And that was where we left it.
Excellent. Just one point of clarification. You were going to dinner with Moraine la Fay, the Lady of the Forest. Gwynn had spent the night with Melisende.
Oh, apologies.
Yes.
Melisende. Yeah.
Minor point of clarification. You may all notice as well, folks, we are down a player. Beloved Polina will not be joining us tonight, unfortunately, which is a real shame because Justine is the voice of reason in the party. And yes,
she actually can't talk right now,
but
though.
She cannot talk right now because she had a magical mishap when researching new spells. As a sorceress, sorcerers can learn new spells by copying them from the Book of Shadows of another sorcerer. Otherwise, they have to do arcane research. They will always learn a spell, but sometimes there's magical mishaps, which are usually quite funny, usually with temporary effects. There is the chance of a permanent effect, but the permanent effects are largely cosmetic and whimsical.
She has heterochromia.
She did actually suffer a permanent effect. One of her eyes has changed colour. but to a natural icon her for her lineage. Okay, but she had a temporary effect, which was that for the next 24 hours she can't speak. She cannot speak. If she tries to speak, it comes out as gibberish. If she tries to write, it comes out as weird pseudo arcane runes. Polina had agreed that she was just going to try and speak Dutch for the evening. It's been a few years since she spoke Dutch, but as a non-Anglophonic European, she knows more than one language. In her case, she actually knows 4. But she's not joining us tonight. So, right. Let me just adjust the camera again. Oops. Okay. Right. So, you are all in the carriage, heading to the palace at the centre of the Tronçais forest, where you have been invited to go for dinner tonight. All right. There is no driver in this carriage, as I already said. There's 2 unicorns, beautiful, majestic, 18-hand unicorns with, I believe I said, gold bridles, leading the carriage, and they are going at a terrifying speed. I mean, it's like a full gallop that they are effortlessly going. And it's quite shocking because, first of all, if they were mundane horses, they probably would not be able to gallop while leading a carriage. And secondly, if this was a mundane carriage, its wheels would have snapped off its axles in about 15 meters. Okay, because these are 19th century roads. So we're not talking about modern 21st century tar-macadam covered motorways. But the carriage is taking it, and while it's a bit rocky, it's nothing at all like what you would expect, as these animals are leading you thundering along. Normally it takes you all about 2.5 hours ish to walk from Cheville to the forest. You reckon on horseback you'd do it in maybe an hour 15, maybe an hour and 20, depending on the pace at which you're walking the horse. You reckon you'll probably be at the edge of the forest in like something crazy like 40 minutes, you reckon. It's just nuts how quickly these animals are leading you. But there is no driver, so in theory, well, let me rephrase that. You don't see a driver. But so in theory, you are completely on your own and free to have any conversations that you wish. And by the way, Gwynn, you do get 1d8 inspiration die that you can use at any point in the game.
Yes. So, have we any theories on why we're getting invited to dinner? I have my own, but I want to know what you think.
Well, it seems...
Well, I do have one theory. When I was with Melisende, she may have mentioned that they're sisters. And so I don't, and I know we had thought of that as a possibility, but I meant to say it earlier, but so much was happening. But they are sisters.
That seems like quite important information to have forgotten.
Oh, I didn't forget. We were just so busy with everything. I didn't have the chance to
I don't know about the rest of you, but I would have liked to have known.
Well, we were able to make a fairly good assumption earlier with the help of Juliet and recognizing that, you know, they shared some similarities, but to have concrete proof, absolutely, yes, that would have been a lot better.
So, the two of you did with the sister. Okay, yeah. Do you think she knows?
It was the best night of my life. I mean, if they were on speaking terms, I'm sure they'd both live in that gorgeous palace.
Oh, they're not talking to each other, no?
I don't know.
Okay.
But maybe we should just say, "Oh, isn't it wonderful that there is another elf in the forest?" and see how she reacts to that.
I think we should just maybe take some time to, I don't know, make one be at peace with ourselves. We may not survive. Um,
Oh, this is how I do deal with every day.
Like maybe this is just a ploy. I mean, maybe she knows.
maybe
She knows.
I,
And
no, I believe that she knew her sister had returned based on the first time we were in the palace and how she reacted to hearing about the
well, not the
collector.
sister, but like maybe she knows about the business with the wine, and I don't know.
Well, again, this is something that we did not know at the time, but we can't undo what has been done. So
I just hope we get out of this palace again.
For sure.
No, I think it will be okay. Look, as it is, if she wanted to kill us, she could have just,
Kill
had
us?
had
Kill us?
the unicorns eat us. Generally,
They do that?
well, they're quite ferocious. Although we might be lucky because they can be calmed by a chaste woman. So I'm afraid that some of the party would not be able to help there. At which point Sylvia is kind of just looking away in this kind of, I'm not judging Gwyn at all because I wouldn't fit either.
Sylvie's looking everywhere except at Gwyn.
Oh, look, the floor is lovely.
I will say that when you do mention the fact that a unicorn can be tamed by a chaste maiden, Justine does blush slightly as well.
So, if she wanted to kill us, the unicorns could eat us. So
Yeah, good point.
as it is,
We're
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Gwyn?
Oh no.
Oh no, is knee frozen?
She did for a sec.
Oh,
I think so.
no, she's back, I think.
I can
You-
hear. Yeah.
Oh,
fine.
you were saying?
I just said, I mean, worst case scenario, she just wants to get in and out of the forest a few times.
Neve, your connection's breaking up a bit. Maybe
Right.
turn off the camera, see if that helps.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, as far as we know, we are going to dinner, so
As far as we know, we're going to dinner. Yes, we are. As far as we know. But I hope we're not dinner.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to ask this last session, but it's okay. Obviously, Mina is not bringing her halberd.
No.
But is anybody else trying to secretly carry any weapons on them?
I have my daggers with me.
But are you carrying them on your person?
Well, I have one in my shoe, I have boots, lace up booties, and I have one in there.
Okay.
And I have one in my cleavage.
How? Knowing your
I love it.
dress would... Did you say your dress would allow that?
Well, I just have a things dressed and just put a small one in there.
Yeah, but if you have cleavage, that would be very noticeable.
No, I don't have it. I just pop it there. It's not hugely revealing, but I just carry one.
Okay. Right.
Plus, they had pockets at that time, so
Yes, but they had pockets for things like coins, not for daggers.
no,
Dagger
but
would
you
be
could
fairly
easily
massive.
drag,
Yeah,
or you could
like,
wear something.
you know, like a standard dagger, you're talking 15, 20 centimeters long.
No. I have a smaller knife with me
Yeah, me
as
too.
well.
Okay, and Gwyn, where is your knife on your person?
I just have my black hilted knife just on my hip. I'm not trying to disguise it.
Yeah, but that's
with all
like-
of my other bits as well.
Do you have your pouches with your components?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're wearing this lovely, like, what was it, a black and burgundy
It's
dress?
like a burgundy, but I do still have
I
a
think
belt
Sylvia's
on,
wearing
a
that
regular
one.
belt.
Oh no, Sylvia.
She's such a hobo, you know what I mean?
You're
Even
right.
with a nice bloody,
Yeah.
ball gown or whatever you're wearing, you carrying
need a
your
goblin
huge
pouch.
ass
Yes.
bag with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
No, that is correct. You did actually give that dress to Sylvia to wear. So
No, I gave the blouse to Sylvia.
Oh, okay.
There's
right,
a high neck blouse that goes under it, and I
Ah,
gave that to Sylvia.
Okay, right, super. Is Aminata carrying any weapons on her? On them?
Yeah. Jeez.
What?
They're going to carry. No, they might just go with their sword. Their sword probably looks nice enough.
Your cane sword.
Yeah,
So you're just carrying your cane.
essentially, yes.
Okay.
That's very good, actually. Yeah.
Because
Sylvia's not.
like,
'cause-
they're not
You just like
outwardly
bring your cane and la la la. You
well,
know,
they'd know it's a sword, but I'm not gonna obviously try and disguise it and make it look like I need the cane for
But
actual
still, it's
functional
nice.
purposes.
It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like,
Like it.
listen, I don't know why we're here. I'm pretty sure she'd be able to appreciate that, or they can remove the weapons either way.
No.
At least you're not trying to hide it in your boobs.
No. My boobs, my cuppets are full, but not enough for cane sword.
Okay, sword in there.
Just like whooshing! Video game.
Just cleavage of holding or something.
Love it.
That's what I feel sometimes when I'm out,
Oh,
you know what I mean? With
right.
all the money I have
Wallet.
in there. But
Oh yeah, I have been in the company of women, including my wife, and suddenly she's randomly pulling like random stuff. out
credit
of her-
cards,
Yeah,
Lip balm.
yeah. It's like what? Like where did you?
nice.
Well, like where did you get that 1999 Nokia from? You know.
Oh, that's been stuck there since the 90s.
And it still works because the Nokia was
The
indestructible.
Nokia indestructible, like, yeah.
It's true.
Did Xena have a boob knife? I don't remember that.
Who? Oh, she
Xena.
did.
I don't
She
remember
did.
the boob knife. I just remember.
She did. She had a boob knife.
I just remember the boobs
I
and
remember.
the chakram thing that she had, which was so badass. But anyway.
No, she had a boob knife.
Okay, right. And she certainly had the boobs in which to hide it. So anyway, just checking. Gwynn, are you still with us?
I am.
Cool, super. All right, because we can't see your lovely face because of the cursed internet connection in the part of Dublin that you're in. So anyway, unless there's any other chat or planning that ye have, because we're not going to RP an entire like carriage journey, okay? You
Really illuminated.
yeah, you are having your conversations, and you do eventually you spot that you're coming near the forest, okay, and anybody who kind of wants to try and peek their head out the window of the carriage, because this is the thing, you are coming to the tree line, and the horses, the unicorns, are not slowing down. And as you know, this is an incredibly dense forest. Alright? There's no roads that go through this forest, alright? But
I wouldn't get scared considering like how the forest moved around us to get us into the Fey realm. So I'd
Yeah.
probably just be like, listen, they probably have, I don't know, that century's equivalent of a fast pass
Yeah,
to the forest.
well, you're not entirely wrong, because what happens
I love it.
as the carriage, as the unicorns come to the tree line, you just see the trees magically part, forming a perfectly flat and smooth carriage-wide trail for you to cut through the trees. Okay? And
I
you,
wanted to say that Mina is sticking her head out of the window like a dog,
oh
but
yeah, golden
she
retriever
won't
energy.
do that, or I won't have her do that with the speech is going, or we're going, because otherwise her hair is going to be messed up. So
That is true.
yeah.
And any of you who glance behind, you see that as soon as the carriage passes in, the trees immediately shift and move in behind.
I do feel like Mina would be a golden retriever.
Oh,
if
Mina's
you-
totally.
such a
Absolutely.
golden retriever. Absolutely.
Sticking her head out the window. Yay!
Yes, 100% golden retriever.
I wasn't even thinking about your hair getting messed up. I was like, if you get clocked by a branch,
I
your hair
was
Yeah,
thinking
that's
that.
what I was thinking. That's
No,
what I was thinking.
she wouldn't
It
give
is-
a toss
it
about
It
that.
is over. I'm just like,
She would not give a toss about that, but like, my hair, my ribbons might get.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can't
So,
have that now.
yeah, this you are cantering and galloping along for another 20 minutes
What
or so.
date is it, Neil, in game?
20th.
Sorry, I forgot to ask.
It is the 1 minute, please.
I
Sorry.
thought that it was still the 19th.
It's the
the
20th.
20th.
Oh yeah, the
It's
20th.
20th, is it?
Yes, it is Tuesday the 20th.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm using. I have because I have like instead of having a million tabs open and my system crashing, I have my laptop to my left. So if people are wondering why I'm twisting on camera, it's because my laptop to my
So
left.
what is it? Is it like 2 nights to the full moon or something like that?
What is your obsession with the full
You said
moon?
3.
It's 3
You
nights
said
till the
3.
Is
full
it 3,
moon.
is it?
Yeah.
He's been saying 3.
It's 3
fine.
nights. I don't know why you're so obsessed with the full moon. Maybe you want to be in a sweater.
Because there's a Luke-Garu in our
I
midst,
did not know.
okay?
I
Jesus.
did not know what you're talking about. So anyway.
Yes, you do. You do. I know. I'm right.
So, after about another 20 minutes into the forest, you see the trail ahead of you leading to, and you saw it before, the gates, this high, like 3.5, I can't remember, like tall stone walls surrounding and peeking above that, the palace made of crystal glass and diamond. The gates open as the steeds get close, and they go charging in, slowing down to a canter, to a trot, turning and leading around to the front of the palace with the beautiful ornate oak doors. Alright. When the carriage comes to a full stop, the door opens, appearing magically on its own to have done so. As I said, you did not see a driver. And there is like the 3 little step thingies to get down.
Of course.
Sylvia's being incredibly careful with the dress because she has never worn anything this nice.
Yes. So you all alight from the carriage, walking up the steps towards the door. As soon as you put your first foot on the steps that lead up to the doors open inward, revealing the beautiful interior. Okay, so
Such power.
Just looking around at the rest of the group, Sylvia is just gonna say, "Okay, have we ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Okay. All right, let's do this then." It's just very like, I am so calm right now. It's fine, but she is not calm at all.
So you step in to the main fabulous kind of foyer hall. Okay, beautiful high vaulted ceiling. Okay, and you remember there's like plate armor along the sides. Okay, and there's some doors off to the right and to the left. All right, but what you see standing about 10 meters up ahead of you is this tiny little figure. Okay, they are only about 25 centimeters tall. All right, they have kind of wavy black hair. All right, that they have in side parting to the side. They have on a pair of little brass rimmed spectacles. All right, they're wearing a very, very fine jacket. It's kind of like a rich dark kind of blue, not a navy but a dark blue, if you know what I mean. Okay, with gold trim and a similar fine wool waistcoat with gold embroidery. They have pristine white breeches that tuck into polished, like perfectly polished high boots, like you could see your reflection in them. And as you all walk in, the figure, and they have a little, they have a perfectly like waxed mustache, okay? And they're standing looking very officious, as I say. Bonjour. Bonjour, mademoiselles. My name is Tronçais. I am the man, I suppose you humans might say, of the Lady La Fay, if you would be so kind. And he gestures to a door that's open to his right. Okay, and you can.
How do you spell that name?
Souriette.
Cool.
And Aminata, you would know this because you are a native French speaker. It translates into little mouse.
Little mouse.
Okay, that's what it translates into, little mouse. Okay, as I say, he gestures to a door that is open, to his right, your left, and going into it, you see this beautiful, fabulous room. It's not like the grand dining hall that you were in previously. This is, I don't know, it's maybe a sitting room, or living room type space. You see there are various, there's some chair lounges, some settees scattered around. There is a small table on which there are the crystal champagne fluted glasses. There is music coming from the room. The walls of the room are beautiful paintings on them, and it's really weird. The paintings all depict Fey imagery, so elves at a hunt, or fairies at a dance, or there's one of unicorns at a gallop. And when you're not directly looking at them, you swear out of the corner of your eye you can see the figures in the painting move, but when you look back, they're back to where you thought they were originally. And there is the sound of music, and you see in one corner there is a harpsichord playing, but there's nobody at the harpsichord. And seated in very, very fine high-backed chair with ornate swirling kind of carvings and decoration, you see Moraine la Fay, the Lady of the Forest. So,
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, lady. And Aminata is going to, formally curtsy.
Sylvia's gonna copy her.
Yep, I'm just gonna copy her.
Everybody's scared now.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Jesus.
right.
Do what the diplomat does. It makes sense.
So thank you all for joining me this evening for this meal. Please make yourselves comfortable.
And thank you for the invitation also.
You were so gracious.
Yes, it was quite unexpected.
Well, you've been, I suppose, making quite a reputation for yourselves since last we spoke. I thought it would be good if we broke bread and discussed things again.
Absolutely more. Aminata is going to take off their cane sword and present it to the nearest person.
There is no one else in the room. It's just Moraine la Fay.
Okay.
Or what you do spot on either side of the room, you also see two very strange looking figures. They are humanoid in shape. And at a first glance you're thinking, oh, they're suits of armor. But when you look again, it's like, no, they're not. They look like humanoid figures made of metal and wood with gears at their joints. And you can see arcane runes emblazoned in parts upon them.
Okay. Fine.
Well, I'll probably just take off my cane sword and put it somewhere.
Well, I mean, it's a cane sword, so you would have just been carrying the cane, you know?
True, but I don't want to just plonk it on the table.
Well, she has gestured for you all to sit down.
Okay.
Just pop it in next to you on the floor, you'd be grand.
Yeah.
So you all sit yourselves down, and as you do, the flutes, the crystal champagne flutes, float up off the table, and one comes to each of you, and one comes to her.
I'm going to help. I'm going to help. To, ugh.
You're
I'm
gonna
going. I'm going to help. Like just kind of, I suppose, give people guidance if they're unsure what to do.
Well, all that's happened
Oh
so far is
yeah.
that
I just love what you do and do the same.
Yeah, follow your lead.
there are literally crystal champagne flutes floating in the air in front of you all, waiting for you to take them.
I'm assuming we're expecting.
And she's taking hers, and says,
Right.
and she says, "Well, salute," and then she takes a drink. First, she doesn't neck it back. She sips it back, and any of you who do drink from it, it is a beautifully crisp, chill, light champagne. Aminati, you've obviously had champagne before, and Justine has had on a few occasions had some. And I don't know if they did have that, Emma. I don't remember seeing anything like that in 19th century furniture, but I'm really not an expert. I'm not a historian. But nonetheless, this is like some of the nicest champagne you've ever had. And Aminati, you've had some pretty fancy champagne. So
Sylvia's never had it, so she's just like,
but
what is this?
and I'm assuming
God,
Mina I'm assuming would not have had it, and I don't imagine Justine
Oh, no.
or Gwynn would have had it. But sorry, Aminati, yes.
I was going to say, I have a question. How brightly lit is the room? Like, would Justine be in any sort of discomfort at the moment?
is she not wearing your sunglasses?
I know she's wearing the sunglasses.
She is wearing the sunglasses, so they are helping somewhat. The room is like there is, so it's about 7 o'clock, and we are in we're getting into late February in France, so it's still bright out.
Okay.
There's probably about another I don't know, hour and a half of sunlight. I'm not familiar with sunrise sunset times in France, having only ever been there on holidays many years ago, so and I was during the summer, height of summer, so there's certainly another hour and a half. There's no light in the room, like there's no chandeliers, there's no candles, there's no fairy globes lit currently, but there is these massive because you have to remember, the entire castle is made of crystal.
Yeah, true.
And the walls are they're a semi-opaque glass effect, if you will, but light still enters freely. So as you finish that, you see, just as you're finishing your glasses, appearing on the table itself, you see several plates of canapes just magically appear.
Marvelous.
Okay.
Merci.
Various different, was it vol au vents and your pastries and your mushrooms and like spits of salmon, like all the very fancy stuff. Okay. And she says, please. And she is waiting for ye all to get some food.
I helped I would have started the dish.
Yeah.
So, and there's the fine china saucers as well. That's amazing. So yeah, there's little fine china saucers as well, so you can load up your plates.
As long as there's no snails, I'm fine. I'll be eating some.
And you see her gesture with a hand, and some of the canapes go onto a plate, and then it floats across the air towards her, and she's enjoying it, and she's like, "So, please, so much has happened since last we met. In fact, when last we met, you all ended up in the Fey realm, I believe. Is that not correct?"
Yeah, quite by accident, I assure you. But yeah, this is what happened.
Yep.
We met 3 lovely sisters.
Oh, how nice. Were they Fey?
No, they
No,
were
they were not.
human, interestingly enough. But I'd been there for a long time.
Oh, how delightful.
Magic people.
I mean, obviously, as you know, there are some humans that live in the Fey realm, though the vast majority of them are men and women who have found themselves being taken away by the music and revelry of my kin, or fell in love with a Fey creature and had to travel there to avoid time and death that plagues all mortals. I mean, I suppose it plagues my kind as well, but as an elf, we regularly will live for a millennia or more, which is, it makes your existence seem like the briefest.
Mayfly.
Yes, truly.
And
It is depressing.
question: when she's saying this, is she saying it as a just kind of, matter of fact? There's nothing insidiously being hinted at there.
Or is she like, you
Give
guys
me an
are like
awareness roll.
so short-lived.
Exactly. Hint, hint,
So
nudge,
that's
nudge.
gonna
I
be,
think it's not how to like.
Hint, nudge, nudge.
You gonna
just
die.
so quickly.
Awareness, keen
like
eyes.
it's
I'm just gonna turn
tragic.
on my light, folks.
Awareness, keen eyes. Do.
Uh,
So that is a 16.
Now, sorry, Amanada, did you roll there?
Yeah, I got a
16,
16.
Yeah, I mean, you're really not sure. You know what? You obviously have experience with the Fae, and you know that many, but not all, Fae kind will not lie. It's as if they're incapable of lying. But even those that are incapable of lying can be extremely duplicitous. They are masters at deception without of actually deceiving. So, with a 16, you have no idea. There doesn't appear to be any major threats in her tone, but you're like, so I guess it kind of comes across as kind of a matter-of-fact statement, but what I'm saying is there's no explicit threat in her tone or body language, so you'd be fairly confident that she was just making a statement of fact, but with that 16 you couldn't say with 100% certainty, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Would
that
you
makes
have
sense.
many dealings with mortals?
To be honest with you, no, I do not. I have largely stayed away from your kind through most of my life, but I suppose that is part of why I've invited you all here tonight.
Oh.
But please, tell me more of these adventures in the Faerun.
Gwynn is tactically choosing to stay quiet.
well, there's not much. We just
we also saw
in.
a griffin, didn't we? There was a pack of wild rats that were chasing. They were all over us.
It
was horrible.
And the path we were stuck going only one direction. We could see that it was a portal, but unfortunately we were driven through. I believe, wasn't there a field of centaur? It was very beautiful. We saw griffins as well, did we? Flying overhead.
I think we did, yeah.
So and then as my friend said, we met these sisters who they had been persecuted by humans and decided they'd had enough and left and went to live in the Fey realm.
I see. So, a trio of witches, I assume.
Yeah.
How interesting. And then when you got back from the Fey realm, you killed an ogre.
We did.
That is true, yeah.
Well, it was bothering it was kind of, yeah, it killed a couple of townsfolk.
Yes, that is true. I understand. They unfortunately have a habit of doing that if they feel they can get away with it.
We took no pleasure in it.
Fairness, it had a fair chance. It was fair combat, and
we were also
easily killed us.
We were also very concerned about more people being injured,
Mhm.
not just the livestock of the farmers, you understand.
Yes.
The ogre also tried to eat Mina.
Oh, well, you seem to be okay, my dear.
Oh yeah, it was just, because I have to be quite close so I can fight. And it just, happened to grab me. It just happens. It's okay.
Which is what they do,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Well, of
So
course, you would have a lot of experience with that, having fought in the war recently. Isn't that true?
yeah, Sylvia's just like, oh god, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, that's true. I saw one of my friends get their arm ripped off, and this is true.
Yes, the giantkin ogres and trolls and mountain giants, especially, have always made very, very powerful and effective heavy infantry units for the armies of my kin.
Yeah, they used to sweep in at the front, and then when we were dealing with them, then after dwarves and redcaps would come in, with their earth magics
Yes,
and.
of course. Well, and how did the appearance of the ogre and the attack by the ogre make the local human population feel?
Oh, well, they were
Very
terrified.
vulnerable.
Oh, I see. Good.
I think they were very scared because I think we lost a bit of time because when we came out of the Fey realm, like before we came to see you, there was just talk of an ogre coming this
Mhm.
way, and they were kind of preparing just in case it would come here. And then by the time we came out of the Fey realm, it had already gone through, and there was some damage to the town, and yeah, I think some people were killed as well. So yeah, we had missed the initial
I see.
coming
And
of her.
having defeated the creature, do you think that the local human population is feeling more secure and less a threat from the Fae, or
These are
Oh,
very
I
probing
don't.
questions.
I don't
I
think.
must
I don't
say.
think
I
so.
don't know. I don't know.
They would,
Honestly, but I'm sorry.
and no, I was just gonna say, the humans would. There's a general feeling of, I suppose, a weary sort of respect that you'd give to creatures stronger than you. Uh, There is a bit of tension. People are being a bit more careful.
that is good.
And uh, yeah, I suppose I know
Yeah.
this is something you believed humans were lacking the last time we were here. So yeah, it would definitely align with your thoughts and your opinions.
Well, shall we? I think we should move to the dining room. Yes.
Indeed.
Please.
Well, after you, and you see, you didn't spot him there, but back at the door is Sorsene,
Okay.
the palace cadet, waiting to lead you all through the doors, through the big hallway space to where the foyer was, towards the dining area. And
He's a cadet, is he?
you think, well, you see, this thing, cadet normally are invisible.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
You know,
Oh,
so,
That's why I'm asking.
yeah,
so
so-
when you said cadet, I was like, what?
Yeah. So you're assuming that he is. He appears to be fulfilling the functions of like a chief butler or like main servant or household manager. So he could be a lieutenant, but you think he's possibly a cadet.
Okay.
So as you all go to get up, you spot that the lady Moraine does not actually get up off her chair herself. Rather, you realise that what you thought were engravings and decorations on the side of the chair are actually wheels, and the chair shifts, and while staying in it, it starts to move along on these wheels towards the dining area with her never arising from it.
Oh.
As Sora said, lead you all towards the dining area.
cool. I'm going to file that away very quickly, and just look at the rest of the party to make sure that nobody's looking a bit too long or anything.
Sylvia, using my lesser telepathy, like, I'm not saying anything.
So, you are led into the dining area, and Moraine, her chair. Now she's not using her hands. It appears to be magically driven. You know. So her chair brings her into the head of the table. You all sit down. There is cutlery set for you all. Remember, start from the outside in. Fine silverware, and I mean literally, it's made of silver, people. Okay, none of this peasant folk nickel crap. Okay, this is legit shit. Okay, and you all sit down. A moment later, bottles. A light from the table, white wine fills all your glasses, and there is a single beautiful white porcelain plate in front of all of you, and a moment later, magically appearing on that plate are these porcelain bowls full of a seafood bouillabaisse, seafood soup.
Oh.
And looking at it, you can see it appears to have bits of eel, salmon. It looks like there might be some cod in there. It looks like there might be some shrimp in there. And the fragrance just hits your nose. And you're like, oh my god, you know, we've got the good shit, okay?
I had cheddar last night. I'm just like, oh.
I love the sea reminds Gwyn of home because it's been a while.
Just please enjoy. My kitchen is quite excellent at what they do.
Oh.
Smells divine.
I'm not just going to tuck in. Just write it.
So she doesn't continue the conversation. She lets you all enjoy the entree. Okay.
Oh.
And
how good is it? How good is
Like,
it?
this is
so curlingly divine.
This is like possibly the nicest seafood soup broth that you've ever had in your life.
It's definitely the nicest thing Sylvia's ever eaten.
Yeah, well, I mean, you grew up in Berlin. Berlin is not a coastal city. Obviously, you would get access to some seafood, but it's not quite the same. Whereas Gwyn, from Cornwall, you had a lot more access to seafood growing up.
Yeah.
Exeter is on the coast as well. It is a coastal city. It's a trade city. So you know, so you
None.
Yeah, landlocked.
Or for like freshwater fish.
You're lucky if you get a bit of trout for your dinner.
Exactly.
So anyway, it is a lovely entree that you all have, okay? And after you all finish, you're like, oh, this is so nice, and the plates magically disappear. And she turns to you all and says, so apart from the incident with the ogre, have you been made aware of any other incidences where the local human population has been interacting with or having issues with the Fae population?
Gwyn takes a deep breath and says yes.
Oh, really?
There was an incident.
Yes?
And I suppose as the guardian of the forest, you should know about it, and I should be the one to tell you. A single fairy, Lucienne, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Single Lucienne was captured by a human temporarily. We still need to make amends for that one. But she informed him that she was kicked out of her home by 3 other Lucienne. And the human who found her came to us for help. And so we proceeded to help her. I hate bullies, milady. Something you should know about me. And I will just preface our story by saying it was already an unfair fight when the 3 Lucienne picked on one and injured her. So I took matters into my own hands and gave them a vat of poison wine. Whether they drank it or not, I don't know. But I considered it fair justice.
So, hold on.
Sylvia is looking at Gwyn going,
oh my god.
the fuck
She already knows. She already knows.
So, when you say this, there is a brief look of surprise on her face, which she quickly collects herself.
Gwyn just keeps her head up high.
So some fairies, obviously from the magics that I have used, arrived in my forest drove another of their kin, already living here, out of their home.
Yeah, she had
defenseless.
her own. Yeah.
Injuring them, which was how this mortal was able to capture them, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she went to him for help and then he confined her.
Well,
He found her injured, I think, and he
you do not need to worry about that being dealt with, because if you have done what you've said you've done, I can promise you that fairy, that Luton would, she will certainly deal with the matter herself.
Yeah, she promised him a wish.
Well,
I believe.
Then what more do we have to do?
I feel that.
Yes.
We reprimanded. I told him it's a very, very horrible thing to do, and he should be really ashamed of himself.
Well, I can promise you that if he has asked for a wish from a fairy, then he will get everything that he asks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
course.
I told him so.
More,
He deserves everything he's coming.
Back to the poisoned wine. So, you gave them a bottle of wine, and why exactly was it just a gift that you gave it to them?
In the guise of a gift, yes. We were trying diplomacy, it was failing. We were most likely going to fight, possibly to the death, and I decided to expedite matters. As I said, milady, I hate bullies.
Give me, Gwynn, charm persuasion, and you do have the persuasion talent.
Please tell her we didn't know about
And don't forget your inspiration die.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You also have conversation, so that's an additional +2. So this is actually a base +5 to the roll,
God.
which isn't terrible.
Okay, we'll roll the d20 and just see.
I
Okay,
still
which
can't believe
dice?
that
Which
fucking
dice?
happened, like,
Ba-doop. That was okay. A 16
Now
plus a
hold on.
5.
So don't forget, you have your amulet of fortune, so you can re-roll and see if you get better anyway.
Ooh, I don't think I'll get better.
I know, but my point is, you can do that twice per short rest. It doesn't.
And I can choose the best.
You choose which you choose.
Okay.
So I would re-roll anyway. It's like the.
I'll re-roll anyway.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry.
If you pick the higher one, then do it.
So what was
Second was a 14.
Okay, so you have 16 plus 5 is 21. Do you want to use your inspiration?
I'll add my d8. Go on.
Okay, thank you, Emma, for reminding us in chat. So roll your d8 and add that to your 21.
There's the d8. Oh, that is an 8. No word
Oh.
lie. That is an 8.
29! Oh, okay. Right, okay.
Please let it be done.
Please.
Oh my God.
There's nothing else that can be done. Like.
So, well, you technically can add half your resolve to that as well, so that brings it up to a 30. It's from
Surely.
That's also from your amulet of fortune. You can add half your resolve up to a number of times per equal to your magic score, I believe.
Can I just mention, my nice tiger's eye amulet that the Word Sisters gave me? Would that help in this instance?
You don't know what that does, and Justine has not cast Detect Magic on it yet to find out what it does.
I'm clutching at straws.
So that's a 30 total. That's a damn good roll. Okay,
Wow.
that's reminding me of when we were like 18th level at the end of campaign 1. Okay, so saying this to the elf, she looks at you and you can see she's there's a lot of emotions going on. And says, "Well, I will be frank. These tactics are, quite deplorable, really. I think if you had faced them in combat and murdered and killed them all in a fight in the open, that would be no Fae alive would question it. Even their own clan could not question that. But you did not do that. You used deception in your attempt to remove them. However, what they did, coming into my forest, attacking another of their kin to drive them out of their home, that was a truly deplorable act. And I can promise you, if I had been made aware of this, if this Lutien had the strength to come to me, I would have dealt with the matter far more harshly than you did. All I ask is next time you're facing one of my kin, you do so in a fair and open fashion.
Oh, Absolutely. The rest of us very much feel that way also.
Well, I think after that, it's time for a fish dish. And as she says that, appearing magically in front of you is some lightly poached salmon. A lovely
Sylvia will
little
just
smoke.
hear in her mind,
Is
told
the
you, no big deal.
bowl like how is the bowl leaving? Is it just
They just
disappearing?
disappear.
Like floating?
I mean, think
Okay, so I'll be like
they are
just like
literally
after nearly licking the bowl, like
yeah, no,
you know
they
me
are
after just
they are literally disappearing. Just like if it was some other magical intellectual property, except that in this world, trans women are women. So yeah.
like literally like Mina is so close, like she has to
Yeah.
really fight herself not to lick the bowl, so she's like
Yeah.
How's
okay, it's
Julia
disappeared.
coping with all the magic, by the way? and all this?
Justine.
All right,
Justine.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
she's like fascinated by being a sorcerer, you know. So she's like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Okay.
But yeah. So, but loving it at the same time, because you know she's a sorcerer. So this is awesome. So, you have a light light dish. It's poached salmon with a lovely white wine sauce. And then after you finish that, those plates disappear, and appearing in front of you all is a lemon sorbet to clear the palate.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, honestly,
Never
I'm
leaving.
full after having eaten a burrito. And I'm hungry again, okay? I'm like literally hungry again. I know, but like I could not physically eat more than what I've eaten. I'm like,
And as I said, Neil, your job is to feed me.
Hey, I
so if
cooked
I'm
you a lovely
hungry,
ribeye
it's your
steak earlier, so
exactly. So if I was hypothetically hungry, it would be your fault.
So anyway,
I'm not. by the way.
after the sorbet, those bowls disappear, and the sorbet was served in these beautiful crystal bowls with fine, tiny little silver teaspoons. Okay.
what is
Alright.
it, lemon
It
sorbet?
was a lemon sorbet to clear the palate. Okay. So that
Actually,
yes.
I have a question for the lady.
Mm-hmm.
When they come to your forest, do they individually come to the palace to pay your respects, or
No,
would you
no.
know of all of the Fae in
Oh
the
no,
forest?
no,
or?
I would not be aware until they make their presence known. I would not be automatically
Ah.
aware. It's not like
Okay.
I mean, I have the title Lady of the Forest because these
Yeah.
lands have belonged to my family for a very long time. And
Yeah.
when one of my kin says a very long time, we mean a very long time.
Of course.
However,
of course.
that does not mean that when a being enters my forest, I am magically made aware of their presence.
No, what I mean is, would they attend the palace and announce the presence to you?
They usually will do so after they have been here a brief period and have settled in. The routines that you are referring to, I do not remember hearing of these trio. I will also say that if something significant or alarming is happening in the forest, I know very quickly. The trees whispered to me when you were fighting the ogre.
And so the firework display was yours.
What firework display? I don't know fireworks.
The light show?
Oh,
So
you
for
mean?
light-
Oh, that was not fireworks. That was pure magic.
Of course.
I mean, pyrotechnics is an interesting area of the sciences, but while I have dabbled in the sciences a little bit, my gift has always been the arcane. Even for one of my kin, I was always gifted in the arcane. So, I think it's time for the main course. And as she says this, the red wine is poured into fresh glasses. And a moment later, appearing in front of you all, plates on which you see a roast pheasant à l'orange with dried apricots and a prosciutto.
I'm so hungry.
And the wine goes perfectly with the pheasant. Perfectly with the pheasant. Just as the white wine was going perfectly with the fish dishes. So yes, it's just amazing.
Nom, 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 nom.
You're like, how could an oversized field chicken taste this good? You know, it's just amazing. All right. As you are having this, she's like, was there there was this encounter with the Injibitian and a farmer. Any other encounters between farmers and fairies or any such thing?
Oh, there
Some actually
was.
disappeared. Yeah. There were 2 farmers who disappeared. We believe they met a fairy dance on their way home. That's what we, because we actually found one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was half starved and half emaciated, dehydrated.
Both.
and we brought him home, and he did say he heard this amazing, beautiful music, and the next thing we found him on the tree.
Yes.
But there was another farmer, but like weeks before, and
I think
no
that he
idea
is.
where he's
I
gone.
think that he is lost.
Well, I do think that it would be a very practical thing to do, to have discussions with the locals, because there has been a significant influx of fairies into the area. So these encounters may become more common. You should remind them of the old traditions that humans have had for generations, the charms that they can use to protect their homes, the offerings that they can leave out so that Fae do not harm them and their families. This is something that you should really truly be doing. It is a shame that there are no locals gifted in magic. I mean, all of you are here right now, but none of you are local to the area.
Well,
there is a family that has they have charms that they leave out. They have never been bothered by any of the Fae.
Oh, really?
They live right next to the forest, like their land's bordered on the forest.
And they have
not
never
been bothered by anything.
But they leave out. They have charms that they leave out. Perhaps we should speak with them and
which family is this?
try. The Castilian family.
Yes.
Oh, you know of them, do you?
There have been,
Inside check.
there have been Castilian here for some time.
Sometime in
they are a family that
mortal
has,
terms, or
they are a family that has come and gone many times over the generations to the area.
but
what are they?
They always return back to this area. I understand.
Sometimes they might leave and then they would maybe return back to their land. I don't know the exact specifics of how they make these arrangements, but yes, the Castilians have been in this area for some time.
Perhaps we could speak with them and learn of what charms they use, but perhaps it might be, unless it's a different type of magics that mortals would not have access to.
Well, you just said it was charms being led by a simple.
Well, that's what they say, yeah.
That's what they say, yeah.
Well, there we go.
Somebody who's not me, who's got like people reading skills. Like,
I will.
This is sauce.
I will very much.
Yes, inside check.
I am like so sure. I am so sure. I mentioned the Castilians the first time we were with her.
Yeah.
And she was like, nope, never heard of them. Can't tell ya. And all of a sudden, like they've been here for some time.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that. That is not just you. That happened.
Because that was when we also mentioned the sister or people being collected, and she was like, "Ooh." Yeah, I will do another insight check just so I can be like, haha, I fucking knew it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. Oh, also, the Dryad who you said was an awful gossip. I'm sure she has lots of things to share with you.
We have not spoken in some time.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I have no real interest in gossip per se.
No, but she would obviously be able to tell you all about what is happening within the forest and all around. With the pool that she has, that gives her great insight.
Yes. She mostly uses it for her own interests.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, um,
What was that role?
oh yeah, did you give that roll, Amanada?
Sorry, no, I didn't. I was writing down notes, and I was also looking through my notes to see if I did ask her. What was that? What
I do
ability? Sorry.
just on that point that you're making with the Castilians are saying, oh, I don't really know. Like, the last time you mentioned them, you did not mention them leaving out charms and the likes, as far as I remember. I think you just
Oh.
asked, oh, do you know this family?
Yeah, but like the fact that she was literally like, "Oh yeah, they've been Castellans here for, 4 years."
Well, maybe the GM just forgot it. So
Would that be an
Okay,
awareness
okay.
roll, maybe?
Okay.
Fair.
you
Okay,
know
yeah,
elves
fair.
don't lie. So and this is you're talking about a conversation you had with an NPC. What 3 months ago? 4 months ago?
Mm.
So
It was a while.
it was a
Been
long
a
while ago.
while.
Yes.
Sure, sure. I
It's
thought this
been a
might have been
while.
a duplicitous sort of shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was double checking.
Always
Um,
suspect shenanigans.
I don't think
always. So
It's
that
an
is
elf.
a 17.
Yeah. I mean, what she's saying seems to be, seems to be legit. Yeah, seems to be legit. So, you have a fabulous mane, okay, and then those plates disappear. All right, and then after those plates disappear, a moment later, appearing in front of you all is a simple salad dish with a rich vinaigrette, clearly to cleanse the palate again. So, has there been any other interesting experiences that you've had with other Fae in the area?
Yes, yes,
Mina's looking
actually.
anywhere but at Gwyn.
No interesting things to report. I don't say that. I'm thinking that. I'm willing everybody to think that.
There's no point in lying because chances are
She knows.
Sister
knows.
Dearest already
Gwyn, fuck your
knows.
sister!
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say yes. Actually, we seem to have stumbled upon your sister.
And when you say that, she immediately looks straight at you. It's like, really, where?
I
Forest?
unfortunately I wasn't there when it happened, but Gwyn.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, we met her in the marketplace.
We met her in the forest. Yes, quite a family resemblance, I must say.
I suspected she had moved back, that she had returned, but
We saw her in the town.
ah,
We thought she may be fey touched by her appearance. Yes.
I see. So she's been traveling into Cherville.
Yeah, she's very interested in. Obviously, she's quite beautiful, and a lot of the young men are very interested in
course.
her. So she was in the inn, and there were where we happened to be staying, and there were men there, and yeah, so.
And you said, Gwyn, that you met her in the forest as well, yes?
Yes. We actually believe past where she was living the day that we stumbled into the Fey realm.
Oh, but you did not meet her on that day.
No, we met her initially in the town,
I see.
in the inn.
And then
Mina is
you
so
were
hard not
in
trying
the
to look at Gwyn.
forest
She's
and
like,
met her again.
What was that?
You then were traveling in the forest and met her again.
Yes.
Oh, Gwen. Nara is actually
Gwen.
just trying
Yes,
to.
Gwyn followed. Yes, I followed her into the
Oh,
forest. We
wait. Sorry. Wait.
suspected.
You followed her into the forest from the town.
We, well, after your hint, we thought she may be the one who had collected, as you put it, Justine's brother.
Sorry. Hold on. Sorry. So, Justine, you had said previously that. In fact, you've been very quiet this whole time.
oh, she cannot talk at the moment.
Poor
is she ill?
Justine had no. Well, temporarily it's just a mishap of her studies. Sometimes when she's learning.
Oh, I have heard of these accidents that humans, sorcerers, sometimes have with their magic. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
she
This
is
happens to be one of
incapable of
those.
speaking for the next few hours. Is that it?
Yes. Unfortunately.
That is very unfortunate. Could she communicate through magic?
No. If she, well, actually,
It just jumbles. It just doesn't
yeah.
really.
No.
Oh.
Whenever she tries to even speaking or writing,
Oh.
it just looks like foreign glyphs, and
Human
she,
magic.
however, she can use more rudimentary forms like
Oh,
nodding
okay.
with no shake of the head.
That's
And
human magic is so strange. It's so strange. So, Justine had, of course, been searching for her brother. Maybe you telling me this previously, and that the Dryad had told you all that she was that he was in the company of a collector. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you saying that my sister Melisende is this collector?
well, Mademoiselle,
Like,
when we
did you
Yes.
see did you see
He's-
Justine's brother in my sister's presence?
Yes.
we
But of course, she was not mistreating him. I think collector is possibly the wrong term. It's a beautiful house,
Do
and
not know. It's a very specific and unusual term. I do not think it would have. I know that my kin can be somewhat cryptic in our communications, but if you were told a collector and he is in my sister's company, then that would mean she is. What is she collecting mortals? Was he the only one there? Do you understand? Do you think you? Why would she have been referred to as a collector?
We haven't figured that out yet.
What the Dryad said was that we should hurry before he becomes a permanent part of her
I mean, Gwyn,
collection.
you're the one who seemed to have the most contact with my sister. What about the situation would have others referring to her as a collector?
honestly, it's hazy now. But she's so kind, and
Oh well.
it was so comfortable. And I mean, he was there, and how could he not be happy in her presence? Maybe she was not the collector. It's hard to say.
Well,
well,
if she is who he is with, and you were told by one who has access to powerful divination magics that he is in the company of and being kept by a collector, that would
No,
strongly suggest
it
that.
can't. No, it can't be. She
Gwen.
was so kind and approachable, and
Honestly, Gwyn, I'm not sure, my
caring.
lady. Maybe she's
Gwyn?
under a spell as well.
Gwyn, how close did you get to my sister?
You may not want the details, my lady. Quite
Very-
close,
yeah.
if you
yeah.
catch my meaning.
I see.
It was the best night of my life.
You see her.
Mhm. The very best.
You see her waving her hands, and it appears she's carrying out some sort of magic.
What are you doing?
Ah. Gwyn, I need you to tell me everything that you learned when you were in the company of my sister or when you were in the company of Justine's brother.
Now, has she cast a spell on me or something to compel me to say what I
You
saw,
don't
or is she
appear, she
asking
doesn't
for my
appear to have, she
opinion?
appears to be asking you
Okay.
directly to tell her these things.
Okay.
She does appear to have used some form of magic, you're not quite sure what.
Well, we returned to her cottage and she invited me in and we spent the most magnificent night together. I'm sorry, that's probably not details a sister would want to hear, but it was the best night of my life. And your sister is just, I've never met anyone like her.
Mm-hmm.
So gracious, so powerful, so beautiful.
Wait,
And
my sister, powerful?
yes, of course, she's an elf.
Oh, like, don't get me wrong. She was always beautiful, even by the standards of my people. She was truly beautiful. But
I would believe it, yes.
powerful?
Yeah, she just emanated sheer
Suppose
radiant power.
you are immortal. I suppose that even the weakest of my kin would be greatly powerful to you.
Ooh, the shade.
She was exceptional. And we spent
Stop.
the best night of my life together
Yes.
and had a beautiful breakfast the next morning with Justine's brother, who's a marvelous
Okay.
cook, by the way.
Were there any other people there?
No, none.
Did Jan make reference to any others who had been there?
It's hazy. He may have mentioned someone before him, another
And
man, perhaps.
what happened? Where was that man now?
Well, it's hard to fathom that he left her company and Jan.
Did
I
Jan
mean,
say
I'm
that he
hesitant to.
left her company?
Well, Jan may have insinuated that she did not allow him to leave, but I can hardly
Ah,
believe what he said because
what did he say?
that she may have, and I don't believe this for an instant, turned Jan's predecessor into a tiny statue on her shelf.
A
Ooh,
statue of wood?
So Jan said, but this was all said when I was there, and he was not quite too pleased at the night that we had spent together.
Well,
And
you can all see her face, her visage changing to a very serious and stern one. As she looks at you in the eyes, says, "That was not why I made that for her. It was a gift for her when she was a simple child." And I think that's a perfect place to pause in our story for a minute. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 5 minutes, folks. Hold on, don't go anywhere.
oh.
Okay. And we will be back shortly. last
So-
we left our heroes, the party was in the middle of having a banquet meal with Moraine la Fay, the elf who is the noble, if you will, of this forest, the Tronçais forest. They had been discussing with her the various encounters that the Fae had been having with humans in the area, and it emerged, well, Gwynn revealed that she had had a very significant encounter with her sister, the elf Melisende. And from there we had discovered that Justine's brother Jan is with Melisende, and Gwynn finally admitted that he had told her that Melisende had somehow turned another lover of hers into a wooden statue.
Gwyn jumps up in her chair
Mm-hmm.
and it falls behind her and puts her 2 hands on the table and says, "How could you implicate your own sister? She is the kindest, sweetest person I've ever met, and this is wrong."
Then get a hold of yourself and sit back down. We are having a calm discussion.
Well, it might be calm for you, but I don't like where this is going.
My lady, can this magic be undone?
Before I answer that question, one moment, if you will. And she gestures at Gwynn. And
So
you see a shimmer. It's not a bolt, it's not a blast, but a wave of arcane energy traveling from her hand, and it hits you, Gwyn, like you have just been punched in the chest by an ogre.
no.
Not a great roll, actually.
Yay.
But
Gwyn doesn't want to be free.
even with that terrible roll, I'm going to say it was enough. And Gwyn, you feel this kind of like it's like you're hit with a sudden sharp migraine. Your brain feels like it's about to explode as you cry out. You clutch at your skull. And then it clears, and as it does, you feel a fog clear from your mind. And all of these feelings, this love and affection that you had for Melisende, is gone.
No. Gwyn's hands are in her head and she's just saying no over and over again.
You still remember the amazing night you had with her, but that really strong connection that you had her, this love of her, like she was like one of your oldest friends and allies, is no longer present. And the rest of you all see this happening. Moraine blasting Gwyn with magic, her screaming, crying out, clutching at her head and shouting out, no. You all see this happening at the same time.
And I just fall back into my chair because I've been standing and just take a pause, and you just see like one single tear rolling down Gwyn's cheek as I'm just looking at the floor.
What happened?
I remove the effect of my sister.
I suspected something was going on. I knew because I had talked to you the day before, and the change was. I knew something was. It was magic, Gwyn. I knew something was going on.
You don't understand. She
violated your mind. Is what she did.
Honestly, I'm somewhat surprised because my sister, when we were growing up, she was always the beloved of my family. But she was, to be quite frank with you all, terrible when it came to the arcane arts. She was pretty and could sing like a little songbird. She was gifted in dance and in art. music and in song, but she
could.
never had any strong abilities in magic. So the fact that she could do this to your friend, I'm a bit surprised, and it didn't feel like the kind of magic my kid normally uses either. It felt more like mortal magic.
Gwyn, did you see anything unusual while you were there in her house?
You
Uh,
did. You did.
I saw the statues. I saw
Yeah.
his brother, who,
Mm-hmm.
in hindsight, was not very happy and said he was stuck and couldn't go. And then before I left, I did see her in a room like an alchemist room, like with the sort of equipment Justine might have. But she wasn't using it. I know what she was doing. She was making a puppet, and I suppose that's how she could control me.
A puppet.
She probably got my hair or something, and yeah,
That
that's how I'm
sounds
sure.
like the magic of the witches.
Well, that's the only reason I recognized it.
What? Where did my sister?
She must have learned it somewhere.
As I said,
Maybe she collected a witch.
Yeah.
I do not know. As I said, oh, Justina's freaking out. Justina's like gesturing and like, what the fuck, and just is freaking out. So you must understand, my kin, the elves, are in many ways like humans. Some are strong, some are fast, some are brilliant of mind, some are great at song and music, some are great at art, some are great at science, some are gifted in magic.
And am I right to understand that you say your sister wasn't really gifted in magic?
No, she was beautiful. She was beautiful and graceful. She was the songbird of the palace. She was gifted in music. She had the voice of an angel. She was gifted in musical instruments, and she could dance like she was made of moonlight. But she was terrible when it came to the arcane arts. We are all innately magical, my kid. But she was not in any way especially gifted at all.
And am I right if I mean, please stop me if I'm overstepping my mark or any, she hasn't made her presence really known to you.
When my family left, we did not leave on the best of terms. We said rather harsh words
So
to each
sorry.
other. It's family, it happens. And
Yeah.
they were all fleeing to Arcadia when the human revolution occurred, and the nobles. And this was the funny thing. As you all know, the humans attacked the nobles and they dragged them all to the guillotine and beheaded them all. And the human mobs attacked some of my kin, some of our palaces. But only 2 palaces were actually successfully attacked by mobs. In both cases, huge sections of the mob were um, were um, were decimated. But the issue was that the fact that any humans had been able to successfully attack and kill my kin caused shockwaves throughout my people, and they all fled. Well, they didn't all flee. The vast majority of them did. Some, like myself, stayed behind. My sister was furious. She wanted me to go with her. She called me stubborn. I said harsh words to her. So I am not entirely surprised, but I'm not entirely surprised that she has not made her presence known. I had suspected that perhaps she might be here. I thought that I had sensed her presence, but I'm not entirely shocked that she's not here.
Right. I'm sorry to hear that, my
Oh,
lady.
it's fine. Mm. It is what it is. But yes. As for this, when she was young, a mere child, she used to love animals and she collected them, and she would get very upset when they would eventually grow sick and grow old and die. And eventually, I made her a wand. Um, the wand's magic would allow her to take her animals that were getting old and frail and sick and change them into little wooden dolls that she could keep. And over a century or so, she had built up quite a collection, and she was heartbroken when she had to leave them here. It would appear that when she moved to Arcadia, those affections moved from animals to mortals, and she is using the same enchanted wand on these men that she once used on birds and rabbits.
So it was your magic.
Well, it was something I created as a gift to my sister as a child. I never thought that as an adult she would use it in such a fashion.
Oh, Tendai, we can't hear you.
Yeah, actually can't hear you at all. That's
It's a very tiny noise.
Yeah, you're on. Your mic is coming up as mute, and we can't hear anything.
No.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Type what you want to say, we say it for you.
Yeah, if you use the chat and we can relay it, maybe. I'm not good enough with tech. I can't even troubleshoot because I had issues with my mic when we were starting up earlier.
Yeah.
But my lady, can the magic be undone?
No. Can Faye? Do you ask
Cool
your so?
question.
Aminati, you ask can Faye study like sorcerers? Yes. Well,
Can't.
to be honest with you,
okay.
To be honest, I do not know. It's. I mean, I do not mean this in a dismissive fashion, my dear, but it's like.
That's a brilliant question, yeah. Would they go to a human university or something
It's
like that?
almost
Not
like
really.
asking, can a wolf learn how to hunt from a hunter? You understand? Magic is in our core. It is part of what we are.
Yes.
Now, it would seem that my sister, in trying to perhaps augment her lacking abilities in magic, perhaps had been learning some tricks from some witches. Maybe in
All you'd
Arcadia.
need is some arcane spark. Is the next thing coming up?
But you don't understand that the way we approach magic is completely innate for us. We do not study it in the way that you would study. I mean, a child, a babe does not study to learn to walk. You understand?
It just
happens. Exactly. And magic is the same for us. As we explore our gifts, we will open up different avenues. So the magics that I know would be different to the magics of another elf, but they are all still coming from the same source. In the same way that one child can run and skip and leap and do cartwheels, whereas another might be stocky and stable and be hard to knock over in a wrestling, it still comes from the same walking, if that makes sense. But it would seem that perhaps she has tried to augment her innate magics by
The-
learning the tricks of some witches.
The next thing coming up in the chat
Yeah,
was,
no,
I
it's-
understand, but if what she had was, I understand what she had was innate, but if she applied it to studies, seems
Yeah,
likely
as-
she could learn another way.
As I say, it seems like she has been learning some of the
Seems
tricks
like she
and
did.
art of witches.
Hmm.
Something that she could have learned in Arcadia. There are many witches in Arcadia. And while magic is rare amongst humans in this part of the world, it is less rare in Arcadia. Though there are less humans without some Fey blood in their ancestry in Arcadia. Most humans in Arcadia would be, as they're called, Fey touch. They have some Fey touch in their ancestry, in their lineage. So. But yes, it would appear that she has done this.
But you're saying it's quite unusual,
I have never,
to your knowledge.
I have never heard of one of my kin learning to enhance their magic, their arcane gifts in such a fashion through this kind of study of magic as it is practiced by mortals. I've never heard of such a thing. However,
Interesting.
as I said, my sister was not in any way particularly gifted with magic, so perhaps this was her way to try. And I mean, from what I understand, I do not know much of how magic works amongst witches, but you augment your magic through physical objects. Is that not true? You're mute, Neve.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so you use plants and animal parts and candles and various different items to channel and augment that magic. So I suppose of all of the mortal forms of magic to attempt to use to enhance a lacking magical ability in one of my kin, witchcraft, I suppose it does make somewhat sense. Perhaps she is better able to tap into her own innate abilities by using such physical objects to focus in the way that you witches do.
But if Yastine's brother is being held by her, as you well know, my lady, we are mortals. What hope could we possibly have against an elf?
Well, she's not me. With no disrespect to witches, some witches can be exceptionally powerful. You said you met a trio of witches who are living in the Fey realm for quite some time, you said, as if they were Fey,
Yes.
Fey themselves. Oh, yes,
Yes.
witches can be very powerful, but I don't mean...
But she is an elf and we are mortals.
She's not a very good elf. She says, with a kind of a almost embarrassed look on her face as she refers to her sister in this way.
But
I don't even know how to answer this.
this is like Bron talking to Jurgen for the first time in campaign 1 all over again. He was such an asshole about humans.
I'm not. Look, she is my sister. I'm not saying I want you to go and attack her and fight her.
Oh, we never would. She's an elf.
She will. I will tell you this. Would she actually? I don't know. She was so terrible at magic. She may not even realize that I broke the enchantment that she had on Gwynn.
I could break in, burn the puppets.
But
What would that affect?
That would be very obvious. My point is rather that you could perhaps attempt to convince her to let Yastine's brother go. If not, unfortunately, Yastine cannot answer this question. If Yastine knows how to counter and disable spells and magical effects, she might be able to temporarily nullify the enchantment on the wand that I created for my sister long enough for you to break it.
Okay.
I don't think I can face her.
Would that
You may
bring-
have to.
Unfortunately, that will not reverse any previous transformations that were carried out using the wand.
could you
I
reverse
no,
anything?
I could not.
So there's
I-
no way for
no.
us to turn that man back
I
to.
do not know. I do not believe so. Powerful magics that remove curses possibly could restore him, but though that is magics that I have not trained in, that I have not specialized in. My magics are mostly in the realm of the pure arcane, energy of force and telekinesis, as well as other areas. But those magics that would normally be used to counter such things, I do not have.
But it can be, in theory, countered by magics that can reverse curses.
If the caster is powerful enough.
Okay.
Maybe we find someone on our travels.
We can
would
find
have to bring him with us.
We can find someone.
Such people are incredibly rare amongst mortals in this part of the world.
Selena be able to know she would.
I heard of this really powerful banshee fatrix from Ireland.
Perhaps we should
Right.
just burn down the
sometime.
cottage. Get him out of his misery.
Then, could we
as
not
I s- you
fire
may,
always?
you may be able
That's a lot
to.
of problems.
Sylvia, you're a druid, yes?
Yeah, this is correct.
And Gwynn, you're a witch, yes?
Mm.
In theory, either of you with enough training could gain access to the magics that would remove the curse.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, it wasn't
So
even-
we have to bring him with us.
In theory,
Yeah.
you might be able
We bring
to.
him with us.
With
Why?
enough
Is
training,
it worth it?
I would put in the work. He did not just do anything to deserve this fate.
I don't
and
see like if he deserved anything. I don't think anyone should be stuck like that.
Mhm.
his family must miss him also.
Yes.
I know he's a man, but honestly, like I don't think anyone deserves to live like that. Well, we don't
Now-
know if he does, okay?
While
So
now this very serious matter, I know of something that could help. And she gestures with her hands, and the plates on which the salad were disappear, and a moment later, a cheese board appears.
Oh, cheese!
Cheese!
And you see a collection of cheeses on it. There's some camembert, there's some Roquefort, there is some Revelanche, which meaning you've had before because it's from the parts of France that border Switzerland. There's some Comté, there's some Abondance, which is another Alpine cheese, and there is sourdough, and there is honey, and there is grapes. So,
I've lost my appetite, and Gwyn just pushes the plate.
Oh
back
no,
into
oh
the
no,
middle
oh
of the
no.
table.
Me
Oh,
guys like
I am
cheese.
all
and
in.
add it
for
dives
cheese.
into the cheese.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Top
You
of the
guys
cheese.
like-
Yes, cheese. So she says, "Oh, look. I'm obviously you do not have permission to attack my sister, but you could." Perhaps,
Right.
Gwyn, you could distract her long enough for one of your other party members to retrieve the wand, and Justine might. Now, I will say this, Justine, it would probably take all of your strength, all of your arcane power to nullify the enchantment long enough to turn it temporarily into a mundane wand of hazel. That would allow one of you to
To break it.
break it.
And if Jan is under the same kind of enchantment that you work with, would destroying that puppet
So Gwyn, give me I tell you what, you can decide yourself. You can give me intellect or magic.
I'd say magic. That was a 17 and my magic is a 4.
So that's a 22. Do you want to use your other +1 from resolve again from your amulet of fortune?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say you've been basically since Moraine counted the magic, you've been going through your head thinking of magics that your mother, your grandmother knew, as they were more powerful and learned witches than you, and you're like, I think I know exactly what spell she used on me. A particularly powerful witch's spell called False Friend. And what you do know of that spell is that if the witch does not channel some of her mana or his mana into it every few days, the effects of the spell will slowly fade. And from the way Jan was talking to you, you suspect that if Melisende had cast this spell on him before, she clearly hasn't been bothering to maintain it.
Okay. I will
Because
relay that.
if she had been, he wouldn't have been telling you the stuff he was telling you. You know?
Mhm.
So yeah, so she might have in the past cast it on him. But I will also say this. Now, realizing
He's just really scared of
realizing
leaving.
what she did, using some hair she got from you when she was literally pulling your hair in a night of passion and binding it to a puppet to cast this spell. There was no magic she used to get you to the house. You went there on your own.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you were a thirsty lady who needed a long drink or something. So so anyway, so yeah, you are quite certain that I think I might have broken 10. You are quite certain that if Jan had been under the effects of this spell, that Melisende had not been maintaining its effects. Now that does not mean that she might not be able to cast it on him again, and you certainly do not have the kind of power to counter it. Not an elf. No, this is not. I'm saying it. Moraine did not say this. Okay. Just remind Gwynn of this. So yes. So you have a lovely cheese board as you're discussing these matters. She does she does remind you that you should be talking to others. Maybe go to the Castilian family and ask them of any old charms that they know. Maybe asking if the old grandmothers in the area, if they know of any charms that are used to protect against the Fae. That people should start leaving out offerings of milk and honey. After the cheese board, there's a lovely dimitasse, you know, the very fancy little coffee pots with the little cups, you know, the really, really, really fancy one that you would have seen in like 19th century Europe. So that appears, and on each of your plates in front of you is a creme caramel as the final course of our meal. Yes. So
Mina's also jumping into that and swimming in it. Like,
and so you do have a very lovely.
she's the one who's like, I'm not gonna eat anything. And now look at her stuffing her face, like, you know.
You have lovely, refreshing coffee, and you have your creme caramel, and she does say, well, I am not going to stop doing what I am doing, but I would hope that you will all work with the humans in the area to help us re-establish some of the old traditions. I will be talking to my kin about the appropriate behavior that we treat each other with, and there will be no more of these encounters of Lutiens displacing
stealing other people's homes.
No, that will most certainly not occur again. But
That
was appalling. Like,
they were prepared to
sorry
fight,
for her.
but I didn't think that. You know.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd do that. And it was her house. It was her home, and they just took a liking to it.
I do not know. They're probably from somewhere around Paris.
I'm just glad we can finally agree.
No. But anyway.
Yeah, and she was quite injured, wasn't she?
If there are any future interactions and altercations, do so in a fair, frank, open, and honest fashion.
Yeah,
Try my best, milady.
This is the way I prefer to deal with these things anyway.
Mhm. Well, thank you for a very enjoyable and very informative evening.
Yeah.
It was refreshing to be in the company of enlightened mortals, enlightened women, and perhaps we shall do this again sometime soon. Um, but it is getting
Oh, I would
late,
absolutely be delighted.
and you
It
realise
was wonderful.
you've been eating for like 3.5, maybe 4 hours. Like this was a
Oh yeah,
7 course meal that
easily.
you had with conversation. You know, it was a proper meal. You know, and it is getting pretty late. Cersei will show you all out, and my carriage will lead you back to Chevier, and we will.
So thank you for your hospitality, milady, and also your frankness with everything,
Of course.
and also for helping Gwynn.
Yes. Well.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Starting to worry there for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, we shall hopefully talk soon. I bid you all good night. And so I say he's appeared, and he's waiting patiently to lead you all out.
Okay.
She doesn't move her chair at all. She's like sitting there finishing her coffee. Ultimate lady of class. And as you are all led out back through the front of the palace, through the fine, beautiful, armor plate lined hallways with fabulous portraits that seem to move just out of the corner of your eye. Excuse me.
Bless
And,
you.
you see the carriage in front of you waiting for you, the same pair of unicorns waiting for you all. The doors open, you all enter into the carriage, and the door closes behind you, and the unicorns lead you out at a breathtaking galloping speed.
Oh, thank God!
Well, that was quite the
Thank
evening.
God we're still alive. Thank God she was so. Oh my God, we're so lucky. We are like
Gwynn,
so lucky. I thought she's gonna kill us. Like.
Gwynn, are you all right?
I thought her power would. You won't understand, but I thought she could help my family. I thought she might be the key. And now it seems like she is not. And oh God, I wrote a letter to my aunt all about her.
Well, you can write another one. I'm just glad that you're okay.
Well, I'm fine. I'm fine. She
It's-
won't be if I see her
It's
again.
it's been a while since I have had friends, and
It's been a while.
it's good to have friends again.
Yes, Amanada does say no retaliation.
No.
Yes, and Gwyn is kind of pointing, or not Gwyn, sorry, Justine is pointing at Amanada when she says that. Because Tendai can't speak because the mics have just crashed in her house, and Justine can speak because of the mic mishap. Her stream is cursed with gremlins all the time. So, yeah, if you, as she says, if you do, we will all die. Which is
We can't.
Yeah.
We can't take on an elf.
And we can't. No, I don't want to
I mean-
either. I mean,
Well,
honestly.
we leave her alive and she finds out, we may also die.
Moraine did tell you one way you might be able to free Anne safely without actually having to fight and potentially kill this elf.
Yeah.
If we can
And
break,
if she does something, we go back to her sister and say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, we don't want to like do anything to your sister, but like, look what she did."
So, as you are in the carriage, being led by the unicorns galloping
She will.
along, you hear at one point, just faintly coming across the fields, the sound of beautiful and magical music. I need everybody to give me a resolve.
Oh no!
Oh,
I closed my
no.
ears. No.
yeah, but we're in a moving carriage. Like,
Give me a resolve roll, folks.
Ah, shit.
No.
Oh no.
I rolled a 9.
Oh.
9.
Can I add willpower?
Yeah, you can.
What is that?
Okay.
Resolve,
And
yeah?
then plus willpower or arcane resistance.
Do I have willpower? I don't have
I don't
willpower.
think you do. I think the only ones with willpower are Gwynn and Sylvia.
Right, that would be an 11.
Okay.
14 for me.
23 for me.
Okay, Aminata, what did
Save
you
us
get?
all, Sylvia.
15.
Okay, that was
Aminata got a 15.
okay, and Justine.
Is Mina jumping out of the carriage?
Justine got a 6. So, this is what happens. You all hear this music, and all of you, except Sylvia, start to feel yourself being overtaken by it, and you all start trying to get up to jump out of the moving carriage to join the dance. Sylvia, what do you do?
Don't stop me. This is too beautiful.
Sylvia's gonna start trying to grab people, I suppose.
Gwyn is just pushing you back as she
Okay.
tries to
Can
clamber
I-
out the window.
Oh no, I don't want the
Can you walk?
No, because I have the Rocky Maw spell, but that will actually hurt people.
That wouldn't work in a carriage. You
Oh,
have to
it
pass
wouldn't,
on Earth.
yeah.
Is the carriage actually, are the doors actually opening while it's in motion, like? Or is it magically
You are
locked,
trying
like
to
child
get to the
safety
door
lock?
to open it, and Sylvia is trying to stop you. So,
Gwyn is like pounding
Let me
into
out
her
of here.
shoulder.
Sylvia is just going to get into the path of the door, arms across, and just
okay, give me a fortitude roll, Sylvia.
Oh god, this is not gonna go.
You have stamina. Well, you don't really have. This is more of a might thing. What did you get?
No, I got a 10. What my fortitude is 0.
0. Yeah, you have stamina and hardiness, but this would be more might.
So what's the target number?
Each of ye give me a fortitude roll. So realistically, it's gonna be Mina that you're gonna have to try and beat.
Natural 20.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
10.
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
I was gonna try and soak the damage, but
Oh,
that's oh no.
what did 10 I get?
15.
15?
No, that was for the
No.
earlier one.
That was before.
Oh,
7.
7.
Okay. And Justine got a 4.
Okay.
So what did Gwyn get again?
A 9 and 1 is 10.
Okay, so you're matching
Can
them
I
all.
burn down the carriage doors?
No, you can't burn down the carriage doors. So you're matching them all, but Mina just barrels into you, hits the door, pulls it open, and starts to jump out.
Is it 2 grit per?
Now, so what I'm going to say is...
Oh,
Wait, Mina's
no.
jumping
What-
out.
Oh, yeah, I
got
got
a
a
natural
natural
20.
20.
I'm not going to be able
I
to manage
easily
that.
passed her. I'm like,
I can't do anything.
push you to the
So-
side. You're nothing to me.
This is what I'm going to say. Sylvia, is there any action you would like to carry out as Mina's jumping out?
You're lucky I was gonna punch you in the face.
It was fortitude, not an attack roll.
Yeah, it
I
would
know.
have been fine. I would have been fine.
Sylvia, is there anything that you will try to do as you see Mina jumping out?
Fuck.
She's jumping out of a moving carriage, so don't be like, ooh,
I
don't
know.
hurt her. She's
No,
not-
I can't stop her though.
there's lots of things you could try and do.
You could grab me. I don't know. Like,
Can I try and grab her?
If that's what you want to do, then okay.
Um,
If that's what you think
or-
is the best thing for you to do, then yeah.
Do you have any appropriate spells maybe to stun her or freeze her?
what I
or-
have is I have Lesser Bless, which can give her a bonus she can use as a she.
I gave fall damage.
Oh god, no. Are we in our right minds? Those of us who passed.
No, you're not.
No.
Sylvia's
No,
physically
none of
able
yous
to
are.
stop you.
I've just been able to like stop you.
Yeah.
I don't have any fucking. What I have, okay, I'm gonna cast Bark Skin on Mina because if she's jumping out of a moving vehicle and I can't stop her.
So you're not going to try and stop her, is what you're saying?
No, I am gonna try and
well,
stop
you're not
her.
going to stop her by casting
okay.
Bark Skin.
Okay, I'm
So,
gonna
like,
try and.
you're not.
I'm gonna try.
If you're casting Bardic,
I'm-
you're just making it more likely she survives the fall, so she can run off.
Okay, I'm gonna try and stop her.
Okay, how?
Are
Is
you grabbing the neck of my dress? Like,
yeah. Well, there's nothing I can. I'm gonna. Can I try and put an arm around her and drag her back in?
Okay. So you.
So I've no spells that will. I can't restore. I don't have restoration, so I can't undo this.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So you can give me dexterity, quick reflexes, please.
Unless anybody has a better idea.
I can't use any of my spells,
No, none of
so
yeah,
can
you
assist
tried
in
to
this.
get out anyway.
just tackle
Oh,
her.
I actually rolled a natural 20.
Yay!
Right. So this is what happens. You manage, as Mina goes barreling past you and out the door, you manage to grab her around the waist. She falls forward, smacks her head off the ground a couple of times.
How fast are we going?
And
Fucking
gallop.
breakneck speed.
Okay.
80
Terrible.
kmh probably.
Mina, you
That'll be
take
fine.
10 points of damage as your head cranes against the road.
Okay.
But the bludgeoning manages to shake you from the effect of the fairy dance.
Oh, thank
Get in the fucking carriage.
Sylvia pulls you back in, shutting the door, and by this stage the carriage has gone far enough you can no longer hear the music. But Mina's
What happened?
looking,
Ow! What
Mina's
happened?
like blood
Oh,
pouring
Mina.
out the side of her face.
Ow!
Are we all okay again?
Okay.
Yous are all back to yourself.
Okay,
Hold
I'll
on,
use
hold
healing
on.
tether really quickly.
So Gwynn, you cast Healing Tether.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fairy dance. You
Sylvia,
tried to jump out.
were you going to do something as well?
I was gonna cast a minor healing word, but
You can
if
both
Gwyn
be
is-
healing her.
Yeah.
Well,
I probably have a fucking concussion.
Oh Jesus! It's only 5 points back.
Well,
I
how
rolled a
much mana
1
were
in my
you
D6.
putting-
Ow.
Sorry, how much mana were you putting into this?
2. Oh. I was just doing 2.
You could put a max of.
I was just doing 4. Like I was doing the base amount, which is 4.
No,
but
the
I'll
base-
put in
the
8.
base amount for Healing Tether is 2 mana. It's a second level
Oh.
spell.
second level. It's
Yeah.
four.
Oh, it is. It
Oh,
is.
sorry,
It
first
is.
level, I mean. It's a first level spell.
It is.
So,
Okay, I'll
yeah,
do 2d6.
You could spend up to 6 mana to do 3d6.
I'll do 3d6.
There is blood on people's lovely. Well, there's blood on Mina's clothes.
That is so on brand. I
Is
swear to
each
God.
d6 plus my 4?
Just it's 3d6 plus your magic.
Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points.
So that fully restores. Okay.
Yep.
So you eventually get back to Cherville. Okay. And you get back just in time that like the Petit Auberge is closing for the night. People are leaving to go home. So everybody saw the carriage arrive earlier this evening to collect you. And now everybody sees the carriage returning to drop you all back as they're all shuffling out. Yeah.
May as well go out in style. Queen's Wave.
So, give me awareness rolls, everybody, please.
Move, bitch! Get out the way!
Awareness.
Oh God. Well, that was
And
not a
keen
good
eyes.
roll for me.
Yeah, it's literally get out of the way. I'm gay.
18 for me.
Okay. 19.
19 for
Okay.
10 die.
What did it mean again?
Oh, what were you rolling again?
Awareness,
Sylvie
keen
got
eyes.
a 9.
Yeah, I got a 9 as well.
So, Gwynn and Aminata, you see amongst the crowd coming out and kind of standing around the carriage, off to the side, both of you see a stunningly beautiful blonde woman who sees you all alight from the carriage, and you see her she looks a bit pissed off, and she's glaring at Gwynn as she just steps back and disappears into the shadows. And I think that's a perfect place to pause in her story.
Which of my beautiful blondes is it?
The elven one.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh,
I
course it
thought
is.
it was Juliet.
No.
Oh no!
So she
Oh,
knows.
no.
She knows. She knows. We probably fuck
Yes, I know
obviously.
you're building up
She
a
knows.
collection of beautiful blondes, but it was
Yeah.
the elven one.
Gwen stood her up, so like, you know, you were supposed to go back.
So, thank you all for joining us. I know we ran a bit later than usual, but there was a lot happening in our session tonight. So as I said, thanks again for being here with us and supporting us. If you want to continue to support us, the best ways to do this is to go over onto my H page and download our stuff. Download our stuff and play our games. That's the best way to support us. We do also have a Patreon that we just started a while back, and we thank you to our Patreon, Emma. You keep the lights on and you keep the milk and honey out for our offerings each night. So if you do join us on Patreon at the $3 tier, you get monthly stat blocks for creatures that are not in our Explorer's Guidance and fun magic items. This month, this month's stat block, which I will be hopefully releasing tomorrow, is for the Golem. However, the Golem in Feyre is based on the Golem as it appeared in Jewish folklore from the Jewish community of Prague in the Czech Republic. This was very heavily researched. I worked with cultural sensitivity consultants, one of whom was shocked that I had come upon stuff that they didn't even know golems could do. So that's how well researched this was. And there's also going to be a couple of fun magic items there. For those who back us at the $5 tier, there is our fireside chat, in which we were just discussing everything that had been recently happening, the shenanigans. Basically, Gwynn. We were discussing Gwynn, okay? That's what we were discussing for the entire 2 hours was Gwynn.
Fucking
And it was a lot of fun.
goblin.
But yeah, apart from that, be sure to be following us on socials. We are still on the Bird app. Muskie hasn't burned to the ground just yet.
Not for lack of trying now.
Trying. And we're also on TikTok as well. So thank you all for joining us, and good night all.